Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel. And listen, I understand that there are people out there who desire to run a video game news website, and I am all for giving it a shot. I've been on in a couple upstarts myself. They've never come to fruition, and that's okay. People try, and it was at different times as the enthusiast press was growing. But people these days, they want to get into it, and then when they see titles like this, Glixel San Francisco office closed, and the team's laid off, it does kind of make them question some of their choices. Now, when I first heard of the story, I thought Glixel itself was shutting down. It's not. It's not. So you can't sit there and pop the bubbly and start humming along to Another One Bites the Dust by Queen, but it does kind of tell you a bit about what is going on in the industry. Saying here, dramatic cuts have been made to the team behind Glixel, the video game website run by the publisher of Rolling Stone magazine. Now, Rolling Stone is in dire straits in and of itself with the lawsuit from University of Virginia over the whole Jackie rape hoax allegation, and there's been a lot of shit about that, and that might be probably playing along with this. But it says that the San Francisco office was closed last Thursday with all staff reportedly laid off. The news emerged via social media posts from General Manager John Davison, Content Director Simon Cox, and News Editor Rachel Weber. Davison posted the explanation on Facebook saying, "It's taken a couple days for this to properly sink in, but sadly on Thursday this week we closed the San Francisco Glixel office. I'm incredibly proud of what we achieved over the last year and a half. We set out to build something with a clear vision that covered games differently by making it about people rather than just product." And I'm not going to lie, that's actually something that I can get behind. All right. Like, honestly, I've never heard of Glixel before today. I mean, it might have passed by somewhere, but no one ever talks about it. Right? It's never shared amongst any of the major sites. No one ever links back to it. No one ever talks about it. There might be another reason why this is happening. But making it about people in the games industry is cool with me, right? There's the developers, there's producers, there's the audio engineers, the storyboard artists, the QA testers, marketing people, the gamers themselves. There's no I in video games development, even though there's one. It's a team effort, and that team comprises of numerous amounts of different people, and it's kind of cool to get to know their personal stories. I don't know necessarily if Glixel's done a lot of that in terms of that regard, and I'll show you guys here in a second why. But it does say here that thanks to Herculean efforts by Simon Cox, Miguel Lopez, Rachel Weber, Paul Justin Encinas, and Stacey Cohen, along with our growing roster of incredibly talented writers, I think we proved that there's a huge potential in that. There's been some truly amazing stuff. If you notice there, it's the growing roster of incredibly talented writers. Yet we're unable to keep an office open in San Francisco. There again might be some indication there of what went wrong. What he says here, what he finalizes here, is saying that what we started isn't going away, but the future of it will now continue from the Rolling Stone office in New York without us. You figure if they really cared about it and they really wanted to make it work, they would just offer to relocate instead of closing down the entire office and laying off everybody. Now, in another post, Simon Cox says, "Sadly, Rolling Stone couldn't make a remote office in San Francisco work for them and struggled to give us the support and attention we really needed to grow. No harm, no foul." And that is something I find to be interesting, because the website's not closing down. Almost every other major video game publication is based in San Francisco. So having a remote office in kind of like the den of the beast, if you will, really seems like more beneficial than not, given how everyone else operates. But then again, in this particular interconnected digital day and age, you don't need to have an office located there, considering the fact that many developers are located across the spectrum of the planet, and they just fly people out when they need them there anyway. So it's one of those things where, again, you can kind of see why it's needed, but also why it's not needed. Now, Glixel had been in operation for just over a year. If you include the weekly newsletters that preceded the site's annual launch of October 2016, Rolling Stone publisher Wenner Media bought Davison and Cox for their decade of experience, or brought in Davison and Cox for their decades of experience at countless video game outlets, including Electronic Gaming Monthly, which is currently dead, IGN partner Ziff Davis, and GameSpot. And well, GameSpot is also not doing great, and IGN has zero trust with people. So you can kind of see also maybe where things went wrong. Now, it does go on to say that games media has been a challenging space for several years now, with consumer attention increasingly shifting towards YouTubers, Twitch streamers, and other influencers, as well as publishers and platform holders creating their own direct-to-consumer channels through social media and video. Many sites have opted to expand their breadth of coverage to include films, TV, and other entertainment trends or news, a trend Glixel is now avoiding. And if you just take a look here at Glixel itself, right? Just jump up back to the top of Glixel. You can see here, it's like 16 innovative games that were way ahead of their time. That sounds like standard fare. Mia Khalifa dove straight into Twitch and isn't looking back. So the former adult film star is capitalizing on her fame to work in games. Again, they're focusing on the people. So, okay, so you've got a porn star, Mia Khalifa. All right. So you got this guy here, Meet Siegel, the world's most famous Overwatch player. So nothing, again, talking about people, not the games themselves or the product. Okay, fine. So they're talking about the Twitch streamer / former porn star, the most famous Overwatch player. And then this one down here cracked me up. Inside Lux Gaming's e-girl Zoe Berger's provocative streaming empire. Okay, so Zoe Berger, for those of you who don't remember, and you probably shouldn't for any actual value, but she was like, hey, I hit 1 million YouTube subs, I'm gonna post some nudes. Even though the nudes are already out there, and she was really just known for twerking on Twitch and then getting banned and going to YouTube. That's pretty much how, oh, and also she hung out a lot with scares. So there's that. But the point I'm trying to get to here is Glixel is not necessarily about people in the industry. It's about the other influencers in the industry that they want to be a part of. And let's be fair here. When it comes to influencing, God, I hate that word too, influencers. I really do hate that word. I was at VidCon, heard it everywhere. But yeah, it's true. When it comes to E3 and Comic-Con and PAX and all these places, people are going there because they're influencers. I get press passes to PAX and Comic-Con because I'm an influencer, even though I go as a legitimate press pass and not industry. Hey yo, I make the videos on the YouTubes. I'm clearly an influencer. I'm a contender. I don't do none of that shit. So it doesn't fucking matter to me. All right. But the point is that you can see what a lot of it is that they're covering and probably why they're closing down the San Francisco office. They couldn't get, it wasn't worth it. It was too expensive. And if you take a look at just their analytics, just their general analytics, you can also see probably why they closed this thing down. So Glixel.com, according to SimilarWeb, gets on average 811,000 views per month, which is not bad. Okay. But see, as a single entity YouTuber, I pull in 2 million views a month on an average month. You know what I mean? So, and there are people that pull in way more than me on an average month that are also single person channels. And so 811,000 for running a New York office and a San Francisco office and continuously growing everything. You can see why this ship begins to fail. And this is why corporatization of enthusiast press is one of the reasons that's killing games journalism, and also one of the reasons why games journalists so actively and frequently attack players and gamers and those of us that don't fall in line with their narratives, because they know that their relevancy is shit. The real quick side tangent here, the ESA reported in 2015 that websites like Glixel here only equate for 3% of game sales. So your Polygon, Kotaku, Rock Paper Shotgun, IGN, GameSpot, blah, 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 only account for 3% of total game sales, whereas idiots like myself and other idiots out there that sit in front of a webcam and talk to you about the games we like to buy, like the games we like to play, like, oh, what's this right here? Bow, 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 bow. Right, I got some games. Clearly I'm a gamer. They're unopened, but clearly I have them. Not just props for the video. I plan on actually playing them and not returning them. But the point I'm trying to make, though, is that we sell up to 12%. 4 times the amount of full-on corporate-run entities like this right here. And you can just see that the average site duration is 48 seconds. I think I've probably had more of that because I've had a browser tab open. And it's really, like, hasn't done much. It's gone down. I mean, you know, it had 810,000 in May, 690,000 in April. March, 950,000. That was because the Switch came out that month, so probably a lot from that. But January and February, it dropped down to low numbers. And E3 might boost it back up for June, but it's not gonna crack that million maybe. And as a result, you can see why they shut it down. So at the end of the day, I don't feel bad that Glixel is shutting down one of its offices. And the likelihood that it continues going forth past a year is going to be very minimal, given the fact that the majority of their editorial team is gone. And they're going to need to either bring in freelancers who don't play video games but are doing this because it's an easy dollar, or they're going to bring in more people from Rolling Stone that are looking for work after the fucking UVA fallout. It's just corporatization of these kind of niche market enthusiast press media is only strangling it further, and I think that's a very apparent given the fact that these sites are down in views, they're down in numbers. And they're having trouble keeping afloat. Now, if you want to do better with this kind of stuff, Glixel and Rolling Stone, start investing in human capital. And by human capital, I mean entertainers. People who are passionate about games, that want to talk about the games, talk about what they do, and not browbeat you with social issues that they use their platform to complain about that aren't necessarily related to gaming or the gaming industry. It's one of the reasons why that Ben Kuchera is held with utmost contempt in most circles, because he's a glad-handing piece of shit, and no one fucking likes him. And he complains about everything. But then again, so do I. But I like to think that I make more money, so I think it's better. Probably not because of YouTube Apocalypse. But anyway, what do you guys think about this? Do you think Glixel is a site that should be saved? Do you think any video game website is worth its salt? If so, post your favorites below. What gaming websites and other YouTubers do you guys like to go to for gaming news that you trust? Help them out. Spread the word. Anyway, if you guys want to help support this channel, you guys thumbs it up. Subscribe below. Hit that bell so you guys get notifications whenever a new video pops up, which is every day, because this is what I do. I love what I do, but I wouldn't be here without you. And always, you guys can support the channel via Patreon, get in on those monthly patron-only streams and the Discord, as well as Amazon affiliate at the end, or even, you know, hook it up through PayPal. Help a boy out. Anyway, my name is Matt Jarbo. This has been the Mundane Matt channel. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out. If you're looking to shoot a great vlog or take some fantastic photos, the Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II is the camera for you. Affiliate link in the video description.